The International Baby Food Action Network and other partners will be hosting the second World Breastfeeding Conference. The goal of the conference is to bring together like-minded breastfeeding advocates for the attainment of targets set on maternal, infant and young child nutrition. Worldwide reports indicate breastfeeding rates are at a comparative low, which increases the risk of other childhood diseases and infant mortality. With us now in studio is Dr. Nonhlanhla Dlamini. She's the Chief Director for Child and Youth Health at the Department of Health, and Dr. Sanjana Bhardwaj. She's from the Chief of Health and Nutrition at the United Nations Children Fund. Ladies, good morning to you. Good to have you here on the program.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right. Excellent. Welcome. Dr. Dlamini, let's begin with you. Why has the department agreed to be part of the second World Breastfeeding Conference?
Okay. We would like to get our moms in South Africa to breastfeed better because our breastfeeding rates are actually quite low, and we are pushing that moms only give breast milk only for the first 6 months of the baby's life before they add other foods after 6 months, but we're really encouraging them to breastfeed until the baby is 2 years old.
2 years old.
So
that's what we're advocating.
Yes. And moms shouldn't worry about losing their figure and their breasts getting disfigured because of breastfeeding. That is actually not the cause. It's being pregnant that changes your figure, not breastfeeding. And actually breastfeeding will actually help you get your figure back even quicker.
That's always a positive sign.
Yes.
We'll talk a little bit more about this 2-year mark, but I just want to talk about the actual conference itself. It was first held in New Delhi, and that was in 2012 in India. Why was South Africa chosen to host this next conference?
I think South Africa has been very, it's been a big advocate for breastfeeding. We had in 2011, the Minister of Health launched the Shwane Declaration, which supports exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months, as well as continuous breastfeeding, as Dr. Dlamini has said. So South Africa has paved the way and done several, major policy decisions and been very committed to the whole cause around breastfeeding.
So we talk about that, the time frame. So is 6 months a global standard? I mean, is that what we hope for? From the UN side, what do you try around the world to try and promote?
So what we're saying is that the baby should be put on the breast as soon as possible after birth, so within the first hour, and then exclusive breastfeeding. Now that's the important thing, the word exclusive. When you're saying there's nothing else that you give the baby.
There's no topping up.
There's no foods, there's no solids, there's no water, there's nothing. There's only breast milk for the first 6 months of the baby's life. And then you have continuous breastfeeding along with introduction of other foods as you slowly which are called complementary feeding, and you introduce them as you go along.
Now, South Africa advocating 2 years. Now, I've heard, and whether it's true or not, I mean, when you get to a certain time, whether it be the 6 months frame or wherever it is, that, it actually, the benefits of breastfeeding stop. It doesn't matter whether you're doing breastfeeding or whether you're doing bottle feeding. Perhaps you can give us a bit more clarity on that.
The breast milk retains its nutritional values throughout, and it's still a major contributor to the baby's nutrition up to 2 years. You're not just giving a useless liquid. You're actually giving a very nutritionally rich food. And we are about the growth of the baby weight-wise, but also the brain development of the baby is very important. And breast milk is tops for that.
I'm also reading, and some of the findings and some of the studies that have done, the correlation between lack of breastfeeding linked to diabetes, obesities and other health issues. Has this been proven?
Yes, absolutely yes. I mean, we've had irrevocable evidence. We've got the science behind it. We know the hows and the whys. It's proven beneficial for the mother, for the baby. Breast cancer, there's a decrease in cases of women having these problems, as well as for children. I think for children it's been proven to be the best, the healthiest start to life. It's something that protects the child from various diseases, builds up the immune system of the baby, helps in the IQ growth. I mean, there's been studies proven that there's a 3-point increase in the intelligent quotient, as we say, of a baby if exclusively breastfed. There's also a whole big study that has proven that you have better investment. It's the best investment a country can make, actually. $302 billion, there's an increase of that much amount if you have exclusive breastfeeding.
Yeah, that's amazing. All right, time's up, but I'm going to just give you the final word, Dr. Dlamini. This conference is happening. Where is it happening? When is it happening? And the findings and everything
All
out.
right.
How
The conference is happening right now.
Great.
It was actually officially opened by our Deputy Minister, Dr. Joe Patla, yesterday, and we actually have launched our South Africa's breastfeeding campaign.
Yes.
So we want everybody to be all moms to be breastfeeding. The launch is on. Watch the space and please make your contribution.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming
Thank
into
you.
the studio.
It's a
Well, you
pleasure.
heard it. 6 months minimum, but 2 years is ideal for breastfeeding. And talking to us about this, Dr. Nonhlanhla Dlamini is the Chief Director for Child and Youth Health at the Department of Health, and Dr. Sanjana Bhardwaj, she's the Chief of Health and Nutrition at the United Nations Children's Fund.